Thank you, Nate. Good evening to everyone. I would like to welcome you, and I thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Mark Carino. I am the Assistant Vice President and Director of Athletics at Caldwell University. I'm also the head men's basketball coach. It is our pleasure to host you and your families this evening for our virtual open house. We have developed an excellent program this evening, and we hope that it will provide you the opportunity to learn more about Caldwell University, Caldwell University's athletic programs from our staff. At this time, I would like to take the time to introduce my outstanding athletic staff members. First, I will start with Mr. Dean Johnson, Associate Athletic Director, Head Softball Coach, and Assistant Men's Basketball Coach. Tori Northrop Jones, Assistant Athletics Director, Senior Women's Administrator, Women's Basketball Head Coach. Nate Gagliardi, Assistant Director, Women's Soccer Head Coach, and Men's and Women's Soccer Coordinator. Olga Notilov, Assistant Athletic Director for Compliance and Student Welfare. Joseph Giacchi, Assistant Director, Operations and Assistant Women's Basketball Coach. John Tagliaferri, Director of Athletic Media Relations. Jim Kelly, Assistant Administrator, Sprint Football Head Coach. Kelly Seppi, Administrative Assistant. Heather Arabic, Head Athletic Trainer. Kyle Price, Athletics Administrator, Fitness Center Manager, and Head Coach for Cross Country and Track and Field. Caitlin McGinley, Assistant Administrator, Director of Recreation Sports and Women's Lacrosse Head Coach. Matthew Clank, Athletics Administrator, Men's Lacrosse Head Coach. Hassani Whitfield, Baseball Head Coach. Ken Yakubowski, Women's Bowling Head Coach. Andrew Frazier, Men's Soccer Head Coach. Ryan Carpenter, Women's Tennis Head Coach. And Amy Berry, Volleyball Head Coach. We are grateful and pleased to have our new president, Dr. Matthew Whaling, with us this evening. Dr. Whaling started at Caldwell on July 1st, and we are thankful that he's able to join us this evening. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Whaling.
So good evening, prospective student athletes, and thank you for joining us tonight. I am thrilled to be here. I've been here at Caldwell all about 2 weeks, and I have enjoyed every minute of it and will continue to do so. I'd like you to spend some time learning tonight about Caldwell University, the Catholic Dominican University of New Jersey. We have a mission to help students to not only get an education here, but within that education to seek truth and embrace justice. And there is no other time in our society where we need that as much as we do today. I also am thrilled to know that you are not only a student athlete, with an emphasis on student, but also that you're willing to contribute your time, your talent, your treasure, in terms of your blood, sweat, and tears to our athletic programs. You'll find here an outstanding group of coaches, team members, and people who will likely follow you for the rest of your life should you choose to enroll at Caldwell University, which we hope you do. The athletics program at Caldwell in addition to the university, has goals not only to educate you, but to give you the values that you'll need to succeed and do well in life. Values of respect, of integrity, of community, and excellence. And we'll foster those values on the field and off the field as we strive to give you the best academic and athletic experience possible. As a former athlete, and I know some of you may be snickering now, but as a former athlete many years ago, some of the values I hold with me today, I learned on the soccer field, and certainly learned them as I coached my own team to an NCAA Final Four appearance when I was a women's soccer coach. Being an athlete gives you the balance that you need in your life. It allows you to do something greater than that which is just for yourself. You become part of a team. You learn teamwork. Your work ethics are outstanding, and your ability to compete and get the job done is what makes you stand out. And so for many of you, I think what we want to say is come explore Caldwell. Explore who we are, what we do, the individual emphasis we put on each of you, and the support we provide for our athletic program, our athletic teams here, and our athletes as individuals. My wife and I will be at your games. We will be on the sidelines cheering. If you're on the women's soccer field, I'll be on the sidelines watching intently as a former soccer coach. But whatever your sport, whatever your major, whatever your program you get involved with here, we are here to support you through all the way from your first year to graduation. And so with that, I want to welcome you here tonight. I want to say thank you. I want you to get to know Caldwell better. Come visit our beautiful campus when you can. As soon as we're able, we intend to open our campus to campus visitors again. And we will get through this. We will get through the current COVID experience. I'm so sorry we're meeting together tonight on video and not in person, but I do look forward to getting the chance to seeing you at Caldwell. Hopefully you'll choose the university like Caldwell that is going to give you the attention you need, not just to attend college, but to come through college and succeed. So with that, thank you. Thank you to our coaches. Thank you to our staff. I want to say just one other thing. When you come here, you're going to hear one thing a lot from a lot of people, and that is go Cougars.
Thank you, Director Carino and Dr. Whalen, for your words tonight. They are much appreciated. It is my pleasure this evening to welcome a former student athlete for some remarks. She was a four-year player for the women's basketball team and just graduated this past spring and will be continuing her studies this fall in grad school. Please welcome at this time, Tina Lebron.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here. My name is Tina Lebron, and I just graduated from Caldwell University this past May with a major in psychology. I was on the women's basketball team for the last 4 years, and I will be continuing my education by getting my master's degree beginning this fall at Caldwell. Starting my sophomore year of high school, I was recruited by and received offers from some D1 schools and larger D2 schools throughout high school. I was very torn in my decision at the beginning and was overwhelmed with how I would ever be able to choose the right school and not regret it once I got there. From the beginning, I always got a close-knit family type of feeling from the coaching staff at Caldwell through my recruitment process, and that is exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a school and a team that cared about me and wouldn't just push me aside once I moved in. When I went on my unofficial and official visits at Caldwell, I had narrowed down my decision to about 2 or 3 schools. But right when I stepped on Caldwell's campus, I told my parents that I was home. From that moment on, I knew I was going to choose Caldwell, and I never looked back. Before I started my college career, I would attend games and go visit the campus, and I immediately felt so welcomed, not only by my coaches and teammates, but by all of the other students and administrators that I passed by and met during my time. It was ultimately the small size of Caldwell that drew me in and made me choose the school to pursue my academic and athletic career. However, once I began my career at Caldwell, I realized how much more it has to offer. Besides the small class and campus size, to give a more family feeling and personalized experience to the school, I began to truly appreciate the beautiful campus and beautiful town around the school. There are so many places to go within walking distance, and you are never bored. In addition to this, one of my favorite parts about Caldwell is the comforting feeling of walking out of your dorm room and seeing all familiar faces and stopping along the way to the caf to say hi, meet new people, and catch up with friends along the way. I was on a first name basis with and got to know so many professors, faculty, and administrators, and I would have never gotten any of these amazing experiences at a bigger school. Caldwell is also so close to New York City, which always gave my friends and I a place to go for the day, which we definitely took advantage of. Besides this, I chose a smaller competitive school because I wanted to immediately make an impact on the court. I didn't want to sit out for a year in redshirt like I most likely would have had to do at a D1 school or even a larger D2 school. I wanted to make my dream to become a collegiate athlete a reality, and I truly did at Caldwell. Just because it is a smaller D2 school doesn't mean that you can't make any professional dreams you may have come true either. I know several athletes from before my time at Caldwell and even during my time at Caldwell who have had the opportunity to play professionally overseas, and many who have actually gone on to become professional athletes. One of my best friends from Caldwell is going to be playing professional basketball in Iceland next year. So don't let the small school image and stereotype deter you from Caldwell, because that same small school aspect is exactly what made me, as well as most other people, love their time at Caldwell. From the first day I moved in as a freshman, I realized quickly that everyone on campus, especially the athletic department, is willing to go above and beyond for all students, but certainly the student athletes. Whatever I was having trouble with, whether it was sports, school, family, or anything else, or if I just wanted someone to talk to, there were so many options of where I could go and who I could see. While sports are certainly a priority at Caldwell because of how competitive all of our teams are, everyone is there to make sure you are doing well in the classroom and as a person. You and your mental and physical health are so much more important than your performance at Caldwell. No matter what you need help with, I can promise you that you will always find someone to help. This is not to say that college is all sunshine and rainbows, because I've definitely had to overcome adversity along the way concerning playing time, injuries, and balancing school, sports, and a social life. But what I can tell you is that with all of the resources we have at Caldwell, from the athletic staff to professors to the counselors and administrators, they all truly made my transition from high school to college, as well as all of my obstacles, seem easy to face because you're never alone when you're at Caldwell. Caldwell did help my dream of playing college basketball come true, and I will forever be grateful to everyone who helped me along the way. Whatever school you decide to play your sport or sports at, make sure that they truly care about you as a person and not just about your athletic abilities. Make sure that you are a person and not just another number at that school. And make sure that you choose a school where you can make a difference both on and off the playing field. I can honestly say that I have made lifelong relationships with the athletics department, my teammates, professors, and other friends and staff I have met along the way at Caldwell. It truly was the best 4 years of my life, and I wouldn't change the decision I made 5 years ago to go to Caldwell. Caldwell was and always will be my home away from home, and Caldwell, along with everyone there, will always hold a special place in my heart. So I wish you all the best of luck in your future at Caldwell or whichever school you decide to pursue collegiate athletics at. But know if you do decide to come to Caldwell, you will not regret it. Thank you for listening and stay healthy. We would now like to give you our virtual athletics tour. We hope you enjoy it, and go Cougars!
Thank you, Tina. And I have to say, it has been a pleasure to watch you play for the last 4 years, hitting those threes, setting records, good stuff. The following 3 segments of our program are crucial to your participation here as a student athlete at Caldwell University. There will be an opportunity for questions and answers later in this segment, so please submit your questions privately to the chat at CU Athletics. At this time, I am happy to welcome our Assistant Athletic Director for Compliance and Student Welfare, Olga Enlevu.
Thank you, Nate. Good evening, everyone. I will get started by talking a little bit about the NCAA and what you can expect from this area. To get us started, all recruits will need to create an NCAA account except for those recruits in the sport of sprint football. You must register with the NCAA Eligibility Center, and there's a $90 fee for all domestic students and a $150 fee for international students. This is a one-time fee that will allow the creation of your NCAA ID number, and this ID number can be shared with all the institutions that you may be looking to play athletics at. Within your NCAA account, you will need to send in your SAT or ACT scores once you have them available. You'll send them through your College Board account, just like you would send your test scores to any other university you may be applying to. You will also need to send your high school transcript to the NCAA. Only your high school guidance counselor can submit your transcript for you to the NCAA. Lastly, in April of your senior year, you will be able to request your final amateurism to the NCAA, and when the time comes, the coaches will remind you about this. Now, to give you guys an idea of a few things that you can look forward to once you come to Caldwell, the first thing I'll talk about is the Cougar Enrichment Program. The enrichment program is required of all freshmen and all first semester transfer students, as well as all returning student athletes that have a GPA below 2.5. You'll be required to complete a minimum of 3 hours a week in our dedicated space, the Cougar Enrichment Center, where student athletes can come in and fulfill their study hours. It's a quiet space with our compliance and student athlete welfare, who's monitoring the space to make sure that all student athletes are, getting their work done, and is also available as a resource for any questions that they may have. In addition, we do partner with the Jennings Library and the Academic Success Center. We put together workshops that you will see on the next page. And these workshops you'll see are workshops that we think will help you throughout your career at Caldwell academically. You go ahead, Tags. Examples of the workshops that we have put together in relating to the academic side are listed there. These are just a few of the workshops that we've put together, and we change these on a semester by semester basis, depending on demand and also depending on the needs of our student athletes. We also put together life skills workshops, such as resume writing workshops or etiquette dinners, anything that we think can help you now throughout your career at Caldwell University, but also once you graduate college and prepare for your professional life. Social programming is also very important. We need a good balance in life between, academics and your sport as well. So we also put together fun activities for our student athletes. We put together dodgeball tournaments, trivia nights, ice cream socials. We're very open to the kind of programming that we put together for our student athletes, because we want them all to be very engaged and to participate and, have fun while doing the same. So if you ever have any ideas or suggestions, we're very welcome to taking those. And lastly, Caldwell University offers a broad range of clubs and organizations that you can get involved in, but within our athletic department, we have a few areas as well that you can get involved with. The first one is called the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, also known as SAC, and SAC is the voice of our student athletes. They meet regularly every couple of weeks, and they discuss any concerns or questions that the student athletes may have. And this also provides the department an opportunity to also share any updates that we may have with this group of student athletes and ask them to share among their teammates as well. And SEC is also very much focused on community service and engagement projects. Next up, we have the student athlete mentors. This is a group of student athletes, our incoming student athletes are paired up with an upperclassman to basically be of assistance during your transition phase in your first year at Caldwell University. We put together educational and social programming events throughout the year to get the mentors and mentees an opportunity to mingle and get to know each other and also meet other mentors and mentees. The Caldwell University Break Stigma Committee serves to create an environment that supports the mental and physical well-being of our student athletes. And again, all these three committees are very student athlete based and focused. So these are a few of the things that you can expect from the NCAA side and from Caldwell University within our department once you're at Caldwell University. Next up, we'll hear a little bit about our sports medicine department from our head athletic trainer.
Welcome to Caldwell University Athletics, and specifically the Sports Medicine Department. My name is Heather Arabic, and I am the head athletic trainer here. Total, we have 4 full-time athletic trainers, each responsible for the prevention, evaluation, and management of athletic injuries. An athletic trainer is present at every practice and home game. We also travel with our teams to any overnight trips or postseason play. We have a phenomenal team physician, Dr. Michael Kelly, and team surgeon, Robin Gurman, both of which answer calls and texts from the athletic training staff almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Each student athlete has secondary insurance coverage through the university that will help cover care that your primary medical insurance does not, following any athletic-related injuries. We require a physical to be completed each year, and each athlete completes concussion baseline testing every other year. For sprint football, all our helmets contain the Riddell Insight technology that will alert the athletic trainer of any significant head impacts during both practice and games. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the main athletic training room. We have 2 athletic training facilities at Caldwell University. Here we treat all our athletes who practice and play on campus. We also complete the majority of our rehabs in this athletic training room. For any athletes who choose, we also utilize JAG physical therapy and have sent student athletes to many of their offices across New York and New Jersey. The majority of rehabs are scheduled in the mornings around each of our student athletes' class and practice times to ensure individualized care and attention. Our second facility is located off campus near the Kiwanis Oval Field and locker rooms and is utilized by our programs who play on this shared turf field. Our athletic trainers practice evidence-based medicine and have numerous modalities they can utilize when it comes to patient care. Some of these include electrical stimulation, ultrasound, our game-ready machine, which is cold and compression at the same time, as well as some newer therapies such as cupping and gua sha, which is a deep tissue scraping therapy. The Caldwell University athletic training staff is dedicated to providing the highest quality medical care to our student athletes, and we look forward to caring for all our newest members to the Cougar family.
Thank you, Olga and Heather, for your very informative remarks. And now we would like to shift our program from the athletic perspective to the admissions perspective and turn the program over to the Director of Undergraduate Admissions, John Marco Giras, for an overview of admissions procedures.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Marco Lleras, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at Caldwell University. And I have been invited to share with you a little overview of the admissions and the application process during tonight's event. On a side note, I would like to share with all of you that I graduated from Caldwell University and that I was a two-sport student athlete during my time here at Caldwell. So this university definitely has a special place in my heart. And I will be available to answer any questions you may have regarding not only the admissions process, but also about my experience as a former student athlete. So I would like to start by saying that there is a difference between the admissions process and the application process. Just because you've been in touch with one of the coaches doesn't mean that you're already in the university. You still have to go through the admissions process and you have to meet all the academic requirements and be admitted to the university. So we are talking about two parallel processes, the admissions and the athletics process. So let's get into the admissions process. How does it work? As you can see on the screen, the first thing you need to do is you need to apply to the university. Then once we receive your application and all the application requirements, all your package will be reviewed by one of the admissions counselors and the admissions committee. About 2 weeks later, an admission decision will be issued and sent to you. And finally, once you have all this information with you, you have your admissions decision, and you've discussed with the coaches what type of opportunities you will have at Caldwell, then you will decide whether or not to enroll at Caldwell. Next slide, please. Perfect. So when should you apply? When can you start the application process? So if you're interested in being part of what we call early action, you need to apply and complete your application by December 1st. This guarantees that you will receive an admission decision before the end of the year. So before December 31st, you will know whether or not you've been accepted to Caldwell University. Early action is a non-binding decision. What does that mean? That if you like the offer that the university has given to you and you want to enroll, that is great. But if you find that this is not the right fit for you and you find another university that could be a better fit for you, it is okay. All you need to do is let us know that you will not be attending Caldwell. So early action is non-binding, but you will get your decision by the end of the year. Then the traditional option is rolling admissions. You can apply and complete your application anytime after December 1st, and you will typically receive an admission decision within 2 weeks of having submitted all your application requirements. Okay, so what do you need in order to have a completed application? And this is very important because these are the documents that will allow us to decide whether or not you meet the requirements to be admitted into a university. First of all, you need to apply. You can do it in 2 ways. First of all, you can do it via the online Caldwell application on our website, or you can also do it via the common application. There is no preference for these applications. You can choose one or the other, and that will make a difference. And you also have to make sure that you submit your $50 application fee. The documents that are required for the admissions process would be your high school transcripts, your SAT or ACT scores, a personal essay, and 2 letters of recommendation. And now I'm going to talk about each of these requirements individually. First of all, your high school transcript. This is probably one of the most important documents, if not the most important document of the process. We will be looking at the strength of the curriculum, the type of classes that you took, whether they were honor courses, regular level courses, perhaps AP courses. So that's something to keep in mind. We will also recalculate your GPA. So your high school GPA will be converted into what we call the academic GPA. The academic GPA basically considers only your English courses, your math courses, natural sciences, social sciences, and foreign language. So that would allow us to have all the applicants on a similar playing field. A typical Caldwell University student has a 3.3 academic GPA. And if I was to give you advice regarding your high school transcripts and your performance during high school, is that every year counts. Many students think that just senior year and junior year will count. As a matter of fact, every single university will look at all your years of high school. So please make sure that you put a lot of effort throughout your 4 years in high school. The second element of the application will be your standardized test scores. It can either be the SAT or the ACT. There's no specific preference for either of these tests. Let's talk about the SAT first. So what we do is we super score. We will consider your highest individual score for each of the sections of the test. So let's say, for example, there's the math section and the evidence-based and reading section. If you score, the first time you take the test, if you score a 600 in math and 500 in the English section, you have 1100. But if you take the test a second time and your scores are the opposites, only 500 in math and then 600 in the English part, we will take your highest math and your highest English, and that will become your super score. And that is a score that we will be considering for your admission. I would like to say that the 50%, mid 50% range of Caldwell students score between 1030 and 1250 on the SAT. That means that 25% of our students score higher than that, and 25% of our students score lower than that. The other test that we consider is the ACT. For ACT, we do not super score, so we will only look at your highest composite score. Like I mentioned before, there's no preference on whether you have to submit the SAT or the ACT. We will take your highest score of these tests. If you need to take it more than once, or if you need to take both tests, you're more than welcome. It will play in your favor. The third element of the application will be your personal essay. This is a very important element that many students don't realize. The importance. You need to submit an essay between 250 and 600 words. You have to make it personal. You have to let us know who you are and why you would like to become a student at Caldwell University, or in most of your cases, a student athlete at Caldwell University. Tell us what you have to offer and what you expect to get from Caldwell University. Make sure that you watch your grammar, read it, have somebody else proofread your essay before you send it to us. It is a selling point, so it's very important. And finally, 2 letters of recommendation. It's important to mention that every letter gets read. Please don't send us 5, 6 letters. Don't send us 1 letter. 2 is great. So that is a sweet spot, sweet number, 2 letters of recommendation. That gives the admissions committee another chance to get to know you and see whether or not you will be a good fit for Caldwell University. Who can write these letters of recommendation? Somebody that knows you as an individual and can tell us your story. This could be your school counselor, teachers, advisors, coaches, employers. So that's basically, in a nutshell, that's how the application process works. 2 things that I would like to mention. Number 1, once you apply to a university, you will automatically be assigned an admissions counselor. This person from the admissions team will work with you throughout the admissions process and will be guiding you to make sure that you submit everything in time and that you can make your decision with all the information necessary. And the other thing that I want to add, at the beginning, I said that the athletics process is different than the admissions process. We do communicate with the coaches, but it is important that you send us the required documents to us, as well as the required documents to the athletics department for the NCAA eligibility. The thing that I wanted to add was that you should also be applying for financial aid as part of your admissions process. So when you apply for the university, you should also be submitting your FAFSA so you can be considered for need-based aid.
Thank you to our presenters this evening. We do have some questions, and we have a question and answer session now. We do have a couple of questions in the chat that I see, so thank you very much for submitting your questions. The first question is Caldwell test optional for the class of 21? I don't know who wants to take that one, but I will unmute John Marco. Okay, John Marco, it's all you, bud.
I will take that question. So yes, Caldwell University is now test optional. However, as a student athlete, you're still required to submit SAT or ACT scores, and this is for NCAA eligibility purposes. So if you're just interested to come into Caldwell as a student and not an athlete, we can consider you for admission without SAT or ACT scores.
Another question in the chat from our prospective student athletes. How do you coordinate a visit with the athletic department and the admissions department? And John Marco, you want to take that one too?
Yeah, so if you would like to visit the university, you can just reach out to the Office of Admissions directly via email, text, you can call us, it doesn't matter which way, and we can set you up for a campus visit. However, as a prospective student athlete, it is important that you also communicate with the coach to see if there are certain restrictions, because there are certain rules that do not allow prospective student athletes to visit on specific dates. I believe Olga would be able to provide a little more information regarding that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry. There you go. So on our compliance side, you would have to, when you coordinate with your coach for the visit, we'll require that you have your NCAA account already created, and also that we have, your transcripts either through the admissions office, which if they have, I can get a copy of that, or I can also take a look into your NCAA account to see if they've already been submitted there, and then, then we'll have you cleared for the visit as well. And the visits last no more than 48 hours.
Okay, another question from the chat. Does someone help the student athletes with their schedule, and how does that coordinated?
Yes, I'll take that one. As an incoming student athlete, you'll get the opportunity to register for your classes during the summer through orientation. If you're going to be an in-season athlete that fall semester, so if you're part of the soccer team, volleyball, tennis, or men's and women's cross country, we'll pre-register you for classes to ensure that they don't interfere with your schedule, and then you'll have the opportunity to verify your schedule to make sure that you also like your schedule, and if there's any concerns, they'll be addressed. For any other student athlete who will not be in season, at that point, they'll simply register for their classes with oversight from our academic advising staff. Once you're a student athlete at Caldwell, anytime that you'll be in season the following semester that you're registering for, you'll be required to meet with your faculty advisor as well as our athletic advisor to sign off your schedule to ensure that you are, you have minimum conflicts between practice and games. And when you are in season at that point, we will give you conflict letters that you can share with each faculty member, alerting them of the dates and times when you will possibly miss class for your games. When you're not in season, that following semester, you'll only be required to meet with your faculty advisor, and then you can simply register for your classes online. Oh, one last thing, all in-season student athletes receive priority registration. So they're able to register for classes during the first week that classes are available before anyone else has access to those classes. So that is very helpful to ensure that, you have a good schedule that has minimal conflict.
Another question in the chat, for the athletic trainer, do we need insurance, or does the university provide insurance for us?
Hi. So yes, you do need primary insurance in order to compete, but also you are covered by a secondary insurance plan that will pick up any of the remaining charges for an athletic related injury for you.
Great. Another question: what considerations will be made if the SATs and ACTs are not administered this fall, considering that from March on they were canceled? Who wants to handle that one?
I guess I'll take that. Since Caldwell's test optional for the admissions process, that won't be relevant. But regarding the NCAA, we're not sure yet what the requirements are going to be, or if there'll be any sort of, waivers for the test scores. So as of now, I would say plan on taking the SATs or ACT tests whenever they're available. And then if anything changes and they end up not being offered, we'll communicate that to the coaches. We'll communicate with you in regards to the next steps and what your options will be at that point.
Okay, and one final question for the Q&A session. Does Caldwell, I guess it's just for John Marco, does Caldwell accept AP credits?
Yes, we do. So if you have taken the AP test, you have to make sure that you send us your AP score report. And if you score a 3 or higher on any of these tests, we will provide you college credit for that. But it is imperative that you send us the AP score report.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, John Marco, Olga, and Heather for your presentations this evening. I want to thank everyone for participating in our athletics admissions open house this evening. Before we close our program, we have one final speaker this evening. Will be an athletics alumni, another athletics alumni. He's a four-year baseball player, was a CACC Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference Player of the Year, Caldwell Athletics Hall of Famer, and he's our current baseball head coach. For some closing remarks, please welcome Hassani Whitfield.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tags, for that amazing introduction. That was great. My name is Hassani Whitfield, head baseball coach. I first wanted to thank everyone for being on the call, the Zoom tonight, taking time out of your day, and I hope everyone is staying safe in these times. Also want to thank Dr. Whalen, our new president, Coach Carino, our AD, and Nate for putting this together. This is a great event during these times where, you know, potential student athletes can come on and learn about our school and hear about our programs. You know, I just wanted to go real quick into the recruiting process for me. When I was a student athlete in high school, it came down to, you know, a small Division I university in New York, where I'm from. And the coach at the time at Caldwell University was a coach who I knew, who coached me in travel ball. Got the job here at Caldwell and invited me up for a visit. And my parents and I came up on you know, a tour and wasn't expecting much, and we were kind of blown away with, you know, the homey feel. And you know, it just felt right, where the smaller campus and talking to the different people in the administration and players when I came on my tour, it was just a very different feel from, you know, a bigger school. It was just a very family-like atmosphere here. And, you know, just like Lebron said earlier on the call, the small classes for me was very important. You know, my family, my wife has a doctorate, I don't. You know, I needed to have the support from the professors and the support from the athletic staff to help, you know, me get through, you know, school, to have that support. If we needed study halls, if we needed help with, you know, just any kind of extra help that we needed, it was there for us. It was provided for us. So that was very important for my family and I when we chose Caldwell to help me, you know, get through college. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college, so it was an important decision for us. And the decision for us had to be more than just athletics. And I think that's very important for, you know, all the potential players, all the potential athletes on the call, is when you go and you tour schools and you come to our campus and you see how, you know, you're more than just an athlete here. You're more than just a student. Everyone gets to interact with everyone here at this school. It's impossible to be on campus and walk around and not see familiar faces and talk to people that you see every day. It's a very intimate campus, which I really love being here. You know, it's very unusual where you go to a college and all the teams, you know, get to see each other, hang out together, be in the same classes together, where there's not, you know, 10,000 kids on campus and you really don't see other teams. Our athletic department, our athletic athletes are very, you know, tight knit here at Caldwell, which I think is something that's very important, where you get to meet players and you get to meet different students that you probably wouldn't meet, you know, on different campuses where you wouldn't cross paths. Caldwell athletics in Caldwell is very important to me as a person. I met my wife at Caldwell. We have a 4.5-year-old son. We bring back on campus as much as we possibly can. My assistant coach, who is also my best friend, who played with me at Caldwell, you know, I get to work with him every day at Caldwell and outside of Caldwell. So, you know, that's something that's very special. And, you know, at the time when you're a student at a school and you don't look at the bigger picture, you're looking more about, you know, how am I hitting, you know, or what's going on with athletics. You know, once I got the job and you get involved in the back end of athletics, you know, to have a athletic director like Coach Carino, who's been at the university for 35 plus years, is tremendous for an athletic department and for a school. From where this school was in 2001 when I got here to now, it is night and day on the athletic end and the education part too. You know, it was a great leap from where it was to where it is now, with adding sports to the facilities. You know, he really kept the athletic department going in the right direction. And he has great insight to the NCAA, which I think for a school is a great advantage for all the student athletes here. So, you know, Caldwell has provided me with everything I consider, with baseball, with my family, and being able to work with players who I played with back in the day. That's very special. And our alumni network on the baseball end and throughout the entire school is very, very strong. I know on our side, we're in chats on our phones with players who played here in 1997. So, you know, it's a place that, because it's smaller, you bond with players, I think, a little bit more personally, and you create true lifelong partnerships and friendships with people. And just like Tina Lebron said earlier, you know, she hit the nail on the head with all the comments she made about the campus and the athletic department. She was spot on. So this is a school that it's, you know, I know you guys are all athletes and you're making sport decisions, but, you know, this is a school where it's more than just athletics. You're not just a number, you know, on a roster. You're more than that. And every single person in this athletic department will know your name. Will always say hi. Will always be there with an open door if you ever have issues. And I think that is extremely important on the athletic end, especially here at Caldwell University. So thank you for being on the call tonight. And hopefully, you know, everyone here picks Caldwell.